All right. Well, why don't we get started, guys? I think, people are still joining. We got quite a few people there. And as people are coming in, just to say hello in the chat and where you are, we just want to formally welcome everybody to the webinar tonight. We're going to do some, you know, um, introductions in a moment and kind of get into the program for tonight. But just to give you guys a little housekeeping things, just that the chat is used for questions. So if you do have some questions, we're going to create an opportunity after these lovely guys kind of share some story and information with you to ask some questions. So just please put those in there. And, just sit back, enjoy. It's going to be a really great discussion tonight. And I think we're all going to learn a lot and get inspired too. So why don't I throw it to you guys to introduce yourselves, and I'll do the same. But maybe Trevor, do you want to start, and then we'll go
Sure.
through? Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Trevor Miller. I'm an Ibogaine provider, and it was through providing Ibogaine in Vancouver starting in 2012 that I kind of got onto this path. And I was able to legally provide Ibogaine in Canada from 2012 through until 2017. And then Health Canada changed the regulatory status of Ibogaine, so I haven't been able to work with it there since. But through that work, I was part of Vancouver and Canada's psychedelic community, and that led to first me being on the board of directors of MAPS Canada, and I served as chair of the board for MAPS Canada for about 3 years. And then I'm very proud of being a co-founder of the Psychedelic Association of Canada,
Mm.
of PAC here. So that was a wild journey getting this organization set up, and I'm very stoked that it's still going and really glad to be here. It's been a while since I kind of addressed anyone through this platform in a while. So it's really nice to be back. But through the nonprofit, I was actually introduced to, or through the nonprofits, namely MAPS, and then more specifically through Rick Doblin, I was introduced to Amber and Marcus Capone, probably back in 2018 or so. Amber and Marcus are a couple that started a nonprofit called Vets Incorporated. Vets has been sending U.S. Special Forces veterans through for Ibogaine treatments. Marcus is a former Navy SEAL who benefited from Ibogaine. And after meeting them, Amber was in touch very frequently to see if there might be a way for us to work together. And that led to me moving to Tijuana in 2021 and setting up a clinic providing Ibogaine, which has now become Ambio Life Sciences. And through the thousands of people that we've treated now, and largely because of working with this veteran population, we realized that Ibogaine is not only incredible for treating addiction and opioid use disorder, which we've known for years. That's primarily what I was doing in Vancouver. But it's also really good at treating traumatic brain injury and a whole bunch of different neurological conditions. So um, that's kind of high level right there. But basically, I've been running Ambio in Tijuana since 2021, and we're at a point where we're treating about 140 people per month right now, and we're
Wow.
sold out for a year. So it's pretty crazy. That's me.
Awesome. Thank you. That's amazing. Alish, maybe your turn.
All right, my name is Aleš Hemsky. I was a professional hockey player. I play NHL for 16 years. I'm from Czech Republic in Europe. Grew up there. Play hockey all my life over there. When I was 16, I made a journey, or my parents kind of choose it for me. I went and play hockey in Canada in Quebec, in Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Played there for a couple of years. Then I was drafted by Edmonton Oilers in Canada when I was 18 in first round, 13 overall. And then when I got drafted, I pretty much played for Edmonton Oilers for 12 years. And then I played in Dallas. That's how I live in Dallas now. That's how I end up here, and we stayed here. And I played for Dallas for 3 years, and I played in Montreal 1 year, but I only played like 7 games, and then I had my last concussion after
Mm,
7 game, and I missed the whole year. That was kind of the lowest point I've ever been. Obviously, I had a lot of concussion during my career. I had a vertigo problem, many problems I had to deal with, and I retired. I think it was 2018 or 2019. That was my last year. I really wanted to play more, but I was so down with the concussion and with everything. I couldn't play anymore. They recommended I should not play anymore, but I was trying to grind it out and hoping for the best, but my head didn't allow me, and I had a lot of problems from
mm,
that time. But obviously, I did a treatment in MBO clinic at Trevor and all those people. We can talk about it a little bit later, but that kind of saved my life, I would say.
mm.
Nice.
Man, great to have you here.
Thank
Really looking forward to hearing your story. Just to introduce myself, first off, I'm not Dr. Pamela Krowski. It's I'm Melanie Dignam. I'm a PAC board member myself. I'm also a psychotherapist here in Toronto, Canada. Working with individuals with complex trauma, complex PTSD, and all the things that fall underneath there. Been working with psychedelics for about 5, almost 6 years now. So working with individuals specifically with ketamine assisted therapy in clinics kind of all over kind of Toronto area here. And then for the past 2 years, I've been the lead therapist at CAMH, the local mental health hospital here, doing clinical trials. There's about 12 trials there currently happening right now for psilocybin with treatment-resistant depression. All different kind of different types of trials, different mechanisms. And also treatment resistant depression with OCD, autism, brain injury. So they're really kind of building that program there, and I've been working with them for a couple of years and proud to also be part of the Compass trial, which just, finished recruiting for its phase 3.
Wow.
So we've just kind of finished up with our last participants here in Toronto for that particular phase 3 trial. So there should be some really interesting and exciting kind of things coming out of that research and that work.
Is that psilocybin for treatment-resistant depression, or
Yeah, yeah,
that's what it
yeah.
is?
Treatment
Wow,
resistant.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. So some really great kind of steps forward, and kind of support too for those clinical trials through CAMH, which has been really kind of amazing to kind of see that really grow within 2 years.
Nice.
And then as kind of a board member here at PAC, it's only been a few months for me, so I'm jumping right in. And also just to kind of mention, what PAC is, the Psychedelic Association of Canada. It's a mostly volunteer-run organization, including the board, right? So, and the idea is that PAC is available to kind of support kind of the work of, psychedelics coming to Canada, access to psychedelics, doing some of that public education, policy work, advocacy work. And we run completely by membership and donation. So Gordon's gonna add kind of some information about PAC and how to get involved and donate if you want for like all these amazing kind of webinars and different resources that are shared throughout the year, right? So there we go. And I'm gonna throw it over to these guys because they're gonna actually kind of share kind of their stories. And then again, if you do have questions, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them at the other end of these guys sharing. And yeah, I'll turn it over to you guys. Looking forward to
Awesome.
this.
Thanks, Melanie. Yeah, so maybe I'll just give, I won't assume everybody knows what Ibogaine is. Ibogaine is a plant medicine that comes from a plant called Tabernanthe iboga, which is native to Africa, countries like Gabon and Cameroon. And it's been used for centuries there ceremonially. It's actually the second layer of root bark of this plant that is used. If you went to the jungle, you'd have to eat copious amounts of this root bark to go through an initiation, and they use it for initiation. They use it for healing. There's a tradition called the Bwiti tradition that has grown out of the use of this medicine in Africa. And the Bwiti tradition would say that Bwiti means the study of life. So really, they're using this medicine to dig deep into the study of life itself. And in 1962, somebody in New York City by the name of Howard Lotsoff, he was a heroin user, and he was 19 years old at the time. His chemist buddy knew that he was interested in different chemicals and substances, and I guess he was for lunch with him one day, and he said, "Here, you should give this stuff a try." And it was a vial of Ibogaine coming out of his freezer, and we still don't know where he got that from, but Howard, a few days later, just took this Ibogaine, had no idea what he was getting in for, and went on this very intense 24-hour long journey. It's a very long journey when you're on Ibogaine. And he came out the other end and he realized, wait a second, I haven't wanted heroin the whole time I've been on this, nor do I want it now. So that's when its anti-addictive properties were discovered. And Howard, throughout his life, really became a champion for the medicine, knocked on a lot of doors, tried to get people's attention on what he had essentially discovered. And enough people did pay attention that there did develop a bit of an underground community providing this medicine to mostly help people detox for years and years. And it is Schedule 1 in the United States. So, there's a bit of an underground culture in the States. But then in places like Mexico, where I am now, Canada, where I initially set up, we were able to legally work with it in Canada until Health Canada changed the regulatory status, as I mentioned. But there's always been clinics down here in Mexico since the early 90s or so. And mostly Ibogaine was used for opioid use disorder. It's very good at interrupting negative patterns, whether that's substance use like opioids or stimulant use or alcohol. Ibogaine's been known for a long time to be very good at helping people overcome that kind of thing. And the veteran community discovered that Ibogaine was very effective at treating all that ails veterans once they retired from the military. So whether that's PTSD, depression, lack of purpose, lack of meaning, and then more recently and more specifically, it's been discovered that it helps with traumatic brain injury. So a good story to illustrate this is Marcus Capone, this former Navy SEAL. Upon retiring, he didn't really feel like he had PTSD. He really enjoyed his job. He felt like he did a lot of good while he was a Navy SEAL. He didn't really feel a lot of moral injury from his career. But upon retiring, something still was not right. And him and his wife, Amber, really just looked down every avenue they could find to try and help him out. And traditional treatments weren't working. He was on, dozens of pharmaceuticals at certain points. They weren't working. And they feel as though a lot of them were making him worse. He was drinking a lot. Their family was really falling apart. Amber was really preparing her kids for the fact that their dad might kill themselves. And then, as this last ditch effort, somebody mentioned that you should try Ibogaine, and Marcus came down to Mexico, tried Ibogaine, went back, and Amber says that as soon as he walked in the front door, she knew that she had her husband back. And that really has been the case. But like I say, it wasn't really PTSD for Marcus, but something wasn't right. And Amber figured it was probably traumatic brain injury. Marcus, for one, was a football player. Amber her father actually used to be his football coach, so took a lot of hits playing football. Then joined the military, where he was a breacher. So it was his job to blow things up, blow up doors for entry, things like that. So a lot of concussive blasts. And then just, imagine firing a 50 caliber weapon for hours at a time, especially when you're training. Like that just goes on and on and on. So Amber figured it was traumatic brain injury. And after this was so effective for Marcus, they set up a nonprofit called Vets Incorporated. VET stands for Veterans Exploring Treatment Solutions. And it they've sent a lot of U.S. Special Forces veterans down for this treatment, and then Amber really started phoning research institutions, trying to get somebody to take a look at what was effectively happening with this medicine. Was able to get the attention of Dr. Nolan Williams out of Stanford University, and was able to raise money for a study. And that study essentially took 30 US Special Forces veterans. They needed traumatic brain injury in order to get into the study. They all went to Stanford prior to coming down here to Ambio. While they were at Stanford, they got brain scans, they got a battery of other tests. And then they came down just for Ibogaine. They went immediately back to Stanford after leaving here, and then they had a month follow-up as well. So the pre-brain scans were clearly showing traumatic brain injury. Post-brain scans showing it was largely reversed, if not entirely reversed in a lot of these guys. And there's been 2 papers published out of that study so far. The first one was in the journal Nature Medicine, which is pretty prestigious journal. The second paper was in Nature as well, but a different arm of Nature. And the first study measured PTSD, depression, anxiety, and disability scores. All went from almost off the charts down to next to nothing after just 1 dose of Ibogaine. The interesting thing was the disability score, which is essentially the measurement they use to, to measure the traumatic brain injury and how it shows up in somebody's life. It went from high in everybody, and even right after Ibogaine, those scores were still pretty high. But a month later, those scores all tanked and became really good. So I say tanked, meaning they went down, but they got better, and a lot of those guys no longer qualify as having traumatic brain injury or PTSD or anxiety. But yeah, so Ibogaine stays in your system and seems to keep doing something. They also ran those brain scans through an AI algorithm, and that AI algorithm determines the age of the brain. And the brains, on average, out of those 30 guys, got 1.37 years younger after just 1 dose of Ibogaine. So that's that's on average. So some of those brains were 5 or 6 years younger. And then on that note, former Texas Governor Rick Perry has become a vocal supporter of this medicine as well. And there was a New York Times article about him coming down to Ambio, and he's got the resources and the influence really to get a brain scan prior to coming down as well. So he got a brain scan before and then did one afterwards, about 6 months afterwards. The initial brain scan looked like a normal kind of 72, 73-year-old brain. The second brain scan really showed no signs of aging. His neurologist says it looks like a 45-year-old brain. So all this to say, and I'll pass it off to Alish now, that it's amazing that these veterans who have this super powerful, connected community that supports each other, they really, the word of mouth on how much this was helping people really got out there. And then that word of mouth started kind of coming into the community of professional athletes as well, professional athletes that face a lot of head trauma. And then even some of when they're a retired athlete, some of the symptoms similar to kind of operator syndrome, which is operator syndrome is not only perhaps the PTSD or the traumatic brain injury, but also like the loss of an identity and the loss of a brotherhood upon retiring from the military and professional athletes. So there's a lot of parallels, and we've treated a good number of professional athletes now as well. And my favorite is this guy right here, Alish. Why don't you share more of your story in detail and talk about some of the head traumas and maybe how that showed up in your life, how you heard about Ibogaine and what's been
Yeah.
happening to you since.
Well, obviously, I had a lot of concussions and deal with a lot of them. But like you said, like Marcus and those guys, when he's still playing, you don't really you don't really see the effects that much. You have headaches and you're trying to get over it because you see the tunnel, the light in the tunnel, you will play again. And I think for me, it started really like after I retired. Like you said, that lost in identity, like with the room, and it's like a family. It's the same when I went to ambient clinic. I was there with five special forces guys, and it's kind of crazy how you can relate to them. You know, we don't have guns, we don't go to kill anybody, but we are in the war too. You know, we go with the guys, and you spend the whole year, you know, many years together, and you go through good and bad. And I think that my last one, obviously, I was really bad, I was really down, but I was looking forward to come back, and I just could not. And that kind of hit me really hard. I lost my identity and my family because hockey was always the safe place for me. You know, I was struggling in the school. I'm really dyslexic. Uh, I had a hard time to learn English, and you know, I had a lot of anxieties from that. And but every time I went on the ice, I could be myself. You know, I could just create, and I could do whatever I want. And you know, the noises around, there was just noises. I was in it, and that was the happy place. Even if you had any struggles, you know, everybody has some struggles outside of the job, and but you go to the hockey rink, you know, you talk to your boys, talk to your guys, and it's just a safe place, you know. And once you lose that, the life really, like, I had no purpose. Uh, I had so much pain. I have a lot of injuries. I have two hip surgeries, two shoulder surgeries. Now I have a hip replacement. I always had to come back. Last 10 years of my career, or probably seven, I was just going through a lot. And now I know when when I did the Ibogaine like 7 months ago, uh, I had so much pain, so much pain. I didn't know how to deal with that, and I was hiding. Yeah, and the alcohol and all the above comes, you know, because you just hide behind it. And when I did that, I was feeling numb. You know, I just had to put myself in numb position. And I remember like last two years in when I retired, you know, I was pretty bad place. I had a suicidal thoughts. It wasn't pretty. And my wife told me, "Hey, we got to do something." So I had a therapist, called a PA. They gave me a therapist in Dallas, and I was doing that, but it was kind of like up and down. I was going there, then I wasn't. And, you know, it wasn't. I felt, I felt I have to do something else. Like my brain, like I would forget stuff. I'll just sit on the couch and just no purpose at all. Obviously, I have kids, and it's weird as stuff because we made our money. You know, I have beautiful family. My kids got born pretty much when I was retiring, so they kind of hit me a little bit too because I was thinking, oh, I will just, you know, I'll just play golf and and you know, do the retiring life. And it hit me hard, and I become like a robot. I had no feelings. I mean, I feel like if somebody died around me, I had zero feeling. My brain was in function, and I couldn't wrap my head about it. You know, with all the injuries, and I'm like, did I'm faking it? And you know, it was just hard. And then you start drinking and you start doing, you know, stupid stuff because you're just hiding the pain, and you start lying to yourself. You're not yourself at all, and it it's hurt my family. You know, like I just didn't know how to take care of myself, and I'm not a guy who like to share stuff. And because in hockey or in sports community, you back in the days you just shut up and, you know, do your job. That's how we grow up. You know, don't complain. You know, don't do anything. Just play. And that's how I live my life. And our life is on schedule. So from young age, we are on the schedule all the time. uh, we don't even know how to do anything by ourselves. They give us the schedule, you just go by that, and once you don't have the schedule when you're retired, you I don't even, I spent all my life in the gym, working out. Now I couldn't even know what to do in the gym, you know, because they're just telling us what to do all our lives, and it's never your choice, and you're just grinding and grinding and grinding, and then I just didn't know what I didn't have that schedule. I didn't have purpose. I didn't have anything. I didn't know how to schedule anything. I just I didn't know how to live. And it's funny because I had everything, and I should be happy, you know. Then obviously I was getting worse and worse, and I didn't. I was thinking I'm going up, but every time I was going up in my eyes, I was going two steps down. And you know, the drinking and all the partying and yeah, there was a big distraction, but I don't blame myself because I was just in the pain. I don't know how to deal with it anymore. It was hard. And then uh, then I got in the low point, and my kid's going to Montessori school, and this football player who play NFL, obviously in the same boot like me, same. I could see in his eyes. So we share our things. Because I trust the sports people. You know, it's hard to talk about it, but when you see somebody who accomplished something, and I don't mean it bad, but you kind of can relate to it. And I was searching for something. I didn't know what. I didn't want to go for any, I wouldn't say rehabs, but I knew it will not help me if I don't fix my brain. And he told me about Ibogaine, and he tried all the Alaska, or how you say it. I don't even know how to say. I never,
Ayahuasca.
yeah, I
Yeah.
never did any psychedelic. You know, maybe mushrooms, but but and he told me about Ibogaine, and we didn't talk to each other for 2 weeks. And he told me he wants to try it, and I got in a really low point, and in my family, my wife was mad, and I guess it has to take a really bad thing for you to kind of realize you really need, you know, kicking your butt. And so I call him. I'm like, hey, can you send me more about this Apigaine? Because if I want to do something, I want to go to the best. I always had the best therapist, best whatever. I don't want to do anything half. They told me this is the real thing, and he sent me some podcast. Governor Rick Perry was on a Joe Rogan show uh, with the other guy. I don't want to screw up his name right now.
Brian Hubbard.
Yeah, Ryan Hubbard. And I realized I know Governor Perry through a lot of people in Dallas. We are in some business together. So I brought away reach out to my friend Doug Wall, who knows the whole family, and I said, "Hey, can you message Governor Rick Perry if I can go to Tijuana?" Or I didn't know where. I didn't really know anything about Abigail, so I didn't. I just watched the podcast, and I watched a lot of Navy SEALs testimony about Abigail, and the weirdest thing, I could relate a lot to their stories. And once I heard a lot of their stories, like you pick a couple stuffs down and there, and I could really relate to it. And I couldn't believe what they were saying. And you know, it's hard to believe it's true, you know. But after their stories, I reached out to Governor Perry, and he told me, "Don't worry, we talk about it." And he's like, "I'll take care of you. I'll help you out." And obviously, he reached out to, he said, "I'm sending the guys to MBO clinic. There's two clinics, but I'm sending the guys in MBO clinic, and I want you to go there." And that's how I heard about MBO clinic. And I think it was the best thing for me because I was paired up with five special forces, or you guys, Trevor, you guys paired me up with five special forces, and I, I can't even imagine to do it by myself. It was nice we were doing it like a team again, you know. And it was like game on, you know. We shared the stories, and it was again. I felt like part of this family, and from the first time I came there, and then I realized we have so much in common. So that combination, that athlete and special forces guys, was really powerful for me, I think. And yeah, that's how I get to MBO clinic, and I can share later on if you want more, obviously. But
Yeah, I'd say what was your week like? What was your kind of process like?
uh, obviously, I'm a person who doesn't like to search too much. I'm ready to go. You know, I want to get better. And when I talked to the people before, I was just ready to get in this journey. I'm like, enough is enough. You know, I gotta do it. I didn't that time I didn't know that. I was always people saying, "Oh, I got to do it for my family. I got to do it for my kids." But you know what? You have to, in the end, you have to do it for yourself. If you don't want to do it for yourself, you're not ready. Like you have to make that choice and be like, I will not change myself. And I was ready. And so I get to obviously I get some phone calls before with some people about what will happen. They want to get the AKG. Uh, I didn't do that because I knew you guys doing it there. And yeah, I got to San Diego, flew to San Diego, and and before my wife was actually like making fun of like now you're going to do do an Ibogaine so you'll come back and move to Thailand. I'm like I'm like no, I'm trying to go get better. She didn't believe it. She wanted to send me somewhere else, but I'm like no, this is I heard the stories. I heard the testimony. I can really relate this to this, and I want to do this. This will be the right thing for me. And so I made it to San Diego. They pick you up. Uh, it's a 40 minutes ride from San Diego, I think, to Tijuana. And I went with met the guys in the lobby. We chat a little bit. Obviously, everybody's kind of nervous. I didn't know much about Ibogaine and psychedelics, so only the stories I heard when I get to Tijuana. So we get to Tijuana. I mean, I was just a little nervous, but everybody welcomes you. It's unbelievable. You end up in the house. You guys have many houses now, Trevor. I don't know how many houses you guys have now. But
5.
five. And yeah, I end up in the house, and you know, obviously, I remember my first meal. That was the best. That was the best thing. So we got in the house. They go. You do the AKG. They go through your bags because obviously I'm sure they don't trust people. They don't trust people. They want to know if you have any medication.
Mostly substances. So many substances are contraindicated with
Yeah,
ibogaine. You just
yeah.
have to
So
be
I
sure.
had Xanax in my backpack because I was scared of flying. That wasn't my problem. Okay, I had many problems, but Xanax wasn't one of them. But I told them kind of like, no, I'm not taking this. Like, like, and yeah, we had this. Then we had like a first circle. We talk together, and there was a wake up call. I heard so many different stories, uh, different problems. I realized it doesn't matter what you have. If you have concussions or PTSD or trauma from childhood or uh, sexually abused or it's all brain. It's all connected. And yeah, I'm like, and then you realize kind of you're not alone there. There's many different jobs. They have the same kind of similar problems, and everything comes to the alcohol, drugs, and hiding. And it doesn't matter what you have. So it was really nice to let it go and you kind of become friends with those people and we kind of all doing it together and that was the first kind of I got really into it a little bit more. We heard a little bit more about Ibogaine. I kind of wish they don't talk that much about the Ibogaine like the stories because it kind of scares you a little bit, but you will kind of create your own story in the end anyway. So that was
It's a fine line
it's a
between
fine
getting
line. What do you
people
want to hear?
prepared,
Yeah,
feeling
yeah.
as though they're equipped, and sharing too much information.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind
That
of like
line never
sometimes
easy.
like like it's fine. Yeah, exactly, it's fine line. But then after we were getting ready for the sweat lounge. So I never done a sweat lounge. Obviously, I did a lot of saunas, and I can be in the heat, and I wasn't prepared for the dark, and the instrument when you playing the instrument. So we drove through Tijuana. I don't know, probably 40 minutes. You see beautiful place in Tijuana and kind of the kind of struggle of Tijuana. So it's kind of wake up call too. You kind of appreciate where you're living and what do you have a little bit, I think. And you kind of remember your family and just like, wow, okay, I'm here to do it. And it kind of hitting you like, okay, let's go. You gotta put your mind to it. And so we got to the sweat lab, we get to some house. There's like a concrete bowl, I don't know, structure, and we went inside. There's four doors. Trevor, you can say a little bit more about it, but I think
It's
it's
basically, I call it like, it's a traditional temescal, so a Mexican sweat lodge, the Mexica tradition. The Mexica came after the Aztecs. And it's basically, this one's basically a giant concrete pizza oven. And
yeah,
it's
it's
dark and it's
it really
hot.
yeah, it's hot.
Yeah.
And we had some guy who was obviously Mexican, and some lady who was putting the fire, and you kind of give you that instrument. I don't know how you call it.
It's a
The
rattle, maraca
oh,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
and first I was like, kind of, this is a joke, man. Like, I'm like, kind of, what is this? And then after like the first session, and there's four doors, so it goes for four times. And you kind of get once they start singing, and he asking a couple questions, and you start breathing, and the heat hits you. I kind of was getting like, wow, okay, now I get it. I'm kind of preparing my mind, and I was getting really into it. And but it was like a battle. You have one athlete, five special forces guys, so nobody wants to go out first. So I rather die than go first. And but everybody had the same mentality. So we all went through all the four doors. Nobody came out. After you felt like you lost like 20 pounds. But really, my mind was like, okay, this is real. I am on the path. Let's do it. And we kind of bound. It's like a bounding place with the other guys because you share some stuff, like an inner child. You answering some questions you normally would not, so you kind of let it go. And yeah, and then we finished. We were all sweaty, and we shower, and we coming back to the house where we live, and pretty much, I think then we had a first IV, I think, because you can say a little bit more about the IVs.
Yeah, it's just dinner and then IV to rehydrate.
Obviously, the dinner was the
Yeah,
highlight.
we kind of become famous for our
I
food.
know
The
that
food's
was the
quite
highlight of
impressive.
the
Yeah.
of the trip. Like, but you enjoyed just first. I enjoyed only first 2 days. Okay, after that, I don't think I ate at all. And so we talk in the dinner, and everybody goes their room, and kind of because the next day we kind of preparing for Abigail, and it's kind of getting real. And so on Tuesday, I was there on Monday. So Tuesday we woke up. I think we had some like a yoga or breathing
Breath
exercises.
work that morning.
Work, yeah. And so that was pretty long. It was an hour and a half. I think I fell asleep there. It was pretty relaxing. Uh, and I think after 12 o'clock, we kind of we couldn't eat anymore. Uh, and they recommended don't drink too much. And taking some medication, they doing a uh, blood pressure all the time. Uh, and we're getting ready for the Ibogaine. We had another session, another circle, talking about what will happen. He told us, uh, Slider told us, once you get on the ride, don't try get out of the ride. And it's so true. I didn't understand it before it, but you can't fight it. Whatever everybody thinks, Abigail will show you all the negative. Even for me, I was thinking it will show me all the negative, and I didn't want to see it. I wasn't ready for it. But it doesn't really matter because Abigail will show you whatever Abigail wants, or the medicine will show you whatever it wants. So you just have to prepare and let it go, and let it show anything what Abigail show you, just let it go. And I was ready, and I had a meeting with Slider one-on-one. I told him, you know what, I'm ready. I don't care what show me. So I'm here for one reason, get better. And I had zero.
Slider was Alish's host, so he was kind of the primary point of contact for the week, kind of host slash on-site therapeutic support. And Slider is a veteran. He's a former F-18 backseater who was actually in the second group we ever had down here in Tijuana. So he's quite the guy.
Yeah, he's quite a guy, quite an intense guy, but it was funny. And so I was ready, and then you kind of just put in your mind. Yeah, everybody were sitting on the couch, and we just all waiting, and kind of not scary, but just didn't know what to expect. And I think they give us another IV before we doing Abigail, before they give us the Abigail. So that's pretty much 8 o'clock p.m. And we had a fire outside. It's a nice, there's a nice patio, and you can see the ocean, and it's a really nice house. And we went outside. There was a fire, and they told us in the afternoon, you have to write some stuff down. Obviously, they don't pressure you to do anything. That's up to you what you do. But what do you want to get rid of? So I get a pen. Somebody comes prepared, somebody not, and I write some stuff. I probably overdid it. I found it in that Ibogaine journey. I kind of overdid it a little bit, and I put. I think it's better put like a just a sentence, not like write a book about about what you want to put there, and be like really specific and short. And so I put some stuff, and then you go by the fire, and you kind of burn it. They do the praise, and they kind of get you ready, and you burn it, and they give you the first bill. And I think 45 minutes later they give you a second one. 15 minutes later they give you third one, and 15 minutes later they give you fourth one. And we were just standing. We get the first one. We standing with the guys, and just look in the sky and be hearing noises. And you don't want to be the first one. It's like when you think, you're just praying. I don't want to be the first one who start freaking out because we don't know what to expect. So we were just joking around. We heard some noise. We're like, oh man, it's coming, it's coming. Is it real or no? And after one, we kind of went inside, sit down on the couch, and they give us another pill. And two guys already start feeling it, like you can see it on them. And so there's a room upstairs where you do all the yoga and all the stuff. And they already went upstairs. I took four pills with those other guys, and I didn't really felt anything yet. And so we went upstairs too. There's there was six mattresses, and everybody picked their mattress. Those two guys was already there. You had a mirror in front of the mattress, and that's kind of the shaking instrument. I was already in the zone. Like I didn't pay attention to anybody. Sit down, look at the mirror. Uh, I was kind of staring the mirror, see my reflection, and I didn't really want to see anything, to be honest. I was kind of scared, and I didn't really see anything. So I kind of lay down in the bed, and and put my blinds on, and I already hear a guy beside me purging, and somebody's kind of crying, and I'm like, what the hell are we doing? I'm like freaking out a little bit, but I kind of in my zone, so I lay down, didn't feel anything. The doctor kind of go one by one, and he came to me. He's like, Alish, how you doing? And I'm like, Doc, I'm good, but I don't feel anything. And he kind of told me, don't worry, it's coming. And I'm kind of like, okay. And I think I just relaxed and let it happen. And I'm a guy who kind of holds a lot of stuff inside. And I let it go. And I think like in 2 minutes, it came really fast. And it came fast. Yeah, should I tell Trevor like what I seen
Yeah,
or?
that's kind of the interesting part. What
Okay.
was your Ibogaine journey like?
Okay, it came really fast, and it was funny because it was coming always through my toes, and this big energy came like this lights, and it just came straight to my toes, all the way to my brain, straight from my brain. Like it was like boom, and it starts stretching my head. Like I could feel it, I could see it. It was just stretching this way, and it was uncomfortable. Like, and you guys told us, or Slider said we'll do it overnight, and I'm like, I'm freaking out. I'm like, I can't do this, man. Like, I don't know how long this, you don't have time. You don't know how long this is going for. And I'm just freaking out. And then it's my face, like that side what I was hurting, and that vertigo I have problem in that ear, it was just disappearing. Like it was like and the other side. And I'm like telling myself, I'm done, man. I don't think I can go like that for 16 hours or whatever it will be. And all of a sudden, I heard a voice, and he's like, and it started talking to me. He's like, "That's why we are here." And I'm like, "No, I don't think I can last any longer like this." And he's like, "This is just a start. Let's go." And once he told me again, "Let's go," for me it was like this kind of
This is
little,
the medicine telling you
yeah,
this,
this
not
is
the
the
doctor.
medicine. This is the
Yeah.
medicine talking to me. And when he
Yeah.
said, when the Ibogaine, I call it Ibogaine. When he said, for me, it's a man voice. When he said, "Let's go," I like again. I just like kind of remember we have to relax, and I kind of let it go. Don't fight it, and because I was fighting it, I didn't want to be there anymore. And it just changed when I let it go. It changed, and I had this. It's like a train of little workers, little robots, like little workers went again through my feet, all the way through my stomach, like I could feel how they're going. And again, back here, straight up to my ear and at this kind of side of my brain. And they start working, like rewiring my brain. I can hear Zeep like opening my skull and just working, and they once go a couple go outside my body and they coming back, and I don't know for how long this is going, but I'm like, this is great. That's why I came here. Like for me that was like, wow, okay, this is unbelievable. And
That's a common theme. I call those the Iboga minions.
oh
They
man,
show up like it'll be little Pac-Mans or little
yes,
minions or little from Fraggle Rock, those dozers, they come in and do the work, but
but
that's
you know
a
what
common
was the
theme. It's little
funny
workers.
thing funny thing for me was like they stop in everywhere where I had a surgery, both shoulders, my back, uh, my hips, and they just working and working and working. And my Achilles were killing me lately. Not anymore, thank God. And they were just working. Like I felt like I'm laying on table and they just rewiring everything from from the whole body, and that went forever. Uh, and then it kind of changed. It changed to personal stuff. Uh, I could hear all of a sudden I start hearing my wife yelling at me. I could hear my kids crying, and I just don't know what's going on. I was confused. I didn't know, and I could see my mom. The picture's kind of coming at me like this way. It's like it's a rotation. Uh, and I was kind of, I don't know if they all giving me shit or like I just don't know what's going on, and I want to hear it again. I was just searching, please show me why this is going, why? Like I don't understand it. I heard him so much, or and I'm confused, and then it become more after it become more loving. It was really more loving. I realized like what Abigail show me, I never appreciate myself. I never appreciate what I done in my life. I never give credit to myself for anything. I was always thinking about somebody else. And it showed me, no, everybody loves you. You have to take care of yourself. And and it was more like after like I hear it again and again, it was more loving and loving and loving, and I want to grab it, I want to hug them, and it was it was more peaceful in the end. I was first started like a little scary, and then it was like, love yourself more, take care of yourself, and stuff like that. Then I had like this crazy vision. I didn't really tell anybody, but because I retired through concussions, I really disappeared from that hockey really slowly. A lot of guys have like their last game in front of fans or like, I never had that closure. I
Mm.
was always trying to come back and uh and I had this vision. It show up my hockey rink from my city, Pardubice, where I'm from, where I grew up, and I played there in lockouts, won the league there, and and it was the last game of my career. Like always my wish was play outside my city. Like in my city, my last, my last year, I will end up in my home city, play there, having fun. And it just showed me the stadium full of people, and the commentator was saying, "Oh, Alex Hemsky is going on net, and he's scoring goal. This is his last game," and people were cheering, and this is it for him, and it was unbelievable. It gave me a closure.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. It really gave me a closure. Like I'm done. You've done everything. You accomplished a lot of things. You should be proud about yourself. And and it was crazy.
That's crazy.
Then I had a lot of
Very
like,
moving.
yeah, I had a lot of visions like operating tables, what I went through, like the surgeries, and I had a death sign. Uh, I really had a like a card deck of card with skeleton and then I had a sign, like a triangle sign. I'm sorry, my wife's thing just buzzing here. Yeah, I have like a triangle sign with death, like a skull, and it was just flashing. It was just flashing at me, and it was pretty much telling me if I don't change, I'll die. And that was like really like it was like putting in my brain, you know what? Like this is important. Like you need to like it
Mm.
showed me like if I didn't go to MBA clinic, I could die. That was pretty much it was like blinking on me. Like it was always something positive, like my family and blah blah blah, and all of a sudden death, death. And it was telling me this is what you should focus on, not all this other stuff. And yeah, and then going through, and then all of a sudden I'm in this. I'll call it like my kids playing Minecraft all the time, and I'm this Minecraft game, but it's all about my life. And 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 you know those stuff I had to put on the paper to burn it. So every level I had to answer one of those questions or one of those things I put on the paper. And I probably got like two or three, and it was kind of going and going, and I don't really remember what was there that much, but and then last couple I could not answer, and I was trying to remember what I put on that paper, and yeah, I was just spinning, and I was getting confused. I was getting really angry. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm like, I'm tired. And then all of a sudden, Abigail put like my dad or mom there, and they start talking, and they would say the answer, and the Abigail, did you hear that? And I'm like, yeah, yeah, I heard that, and I kind of repeat it, and again and again, again, and he was just putting this stuff in my brain. Like he's like, I will not show you anything. You don't need to see this. But this is important.
Wow.
This is what you need to focus on. And it really just and that. And then after I saw ancestors, and I think I was sitting by the fire, and everybody's just like laughing, and I like it was like more like I've been through it. This is, now you're in this journey, and enjoy it. Embrace it, and but Trevor, they give me the pill 9 p.m. on Tuesday, and I'm telling you, I was the last guy who left. I don't even remember I went for Reiki. Like, the Reiki is on Wednesday, probably 5 p.m. I don't know
Yeah,
what.
we have a Reiki practitioner come in. People find that super helpful. We have a really good practitioner. And yeah, I think you went last. So you would have been, that would have been 5 or 6 p.m. You're still in the treatment room.
I didn't even there. I remember I get up, and I don't even know I'm on the table. I just want to go back to the table, back my bed. Like I think I put so much energy or so much to it, it drained me. Like
Yeah.
I left that. I think Slider came to me, and I remember I still had a visions. I'm like I hear a lot of guys just leaving, and I couldn't leave, and I was just still like kind of because I think they told me I just want to finish it. I'm like I'm finishing this. I don't care how long I'm here. Like I'm not leaving. I want more. And yeah, he came to me. I don't know what time was it. Probably 7 p.m. next day. And he's like, "Hey, your wife wants to see want to take a picture. She wants to see if you're okay." And I'm like, I was thinking I looked like horrible, you know. But I saw the picture later, and I would look completely normal.
Mhm.
And that surprised me, but and that kind of woke me up a little bit when I heard that your wife, needs to see you how you look if you're okay. And I think I was there for another hour, and I think Slider came to me. He's like, "Hey man, you want to come down?" And I'm like, "No, man, I'm not leaving. I can't even." So in the end, I stand up, and I couldn't. They talking about gray day. Um, I probably missed the gray day. I don't know. And
Grade A is generally the day after Ibogaine. Everybody feels pretty rough. So you were up in the treatment room the whole day for grade
yeah, I
A.
was in the treatment room all day, kind of sleeping. I get up, I couldn't walk. I I had the biggest vertigo, biggest headache I ever had. And I'm like freaking out. I'm going down, I can't even walk. I'm holding the stairs. And I get down, and one guy was already good. He was sitting by a table talking to Slider. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, how come? But I saw another four guys. They were kind of in the same boat. And I was sleeping I had a roommate in my room, special forces guy. I'm like, I can't sit here. I gotta go back into sleep. I can't even sit here. I was like sitting, standing. I can't be with anybody. I can't talk. And I went downstairs, asked him, hey, how are you doing? He's like, I'm bad. I'm like, I'm horrible. Like I can't even function. And then it's Wednesday. Like, I'm like in 2 days I have to leave. And I'm even worse than I was before. And but I see him, and I'm not freaking out. I'm like, okay, I'll go back to sleep. And the whole night I'm not sleeping. I still having visions. Like I'm still going into some visions. And just thinking, like I was in dark place in the bed.
Mhm.
And then it's Thursday, 7 a.m. and they we woke up together, and something told us, hey, don't lay down anymore. Like it was like somebody telling me, like, you gotta get up. I didn't eat for 3 days. Couldn't touch the food, couldn't drink. I couldn't put anything in my stomach. Still having this biggest vertigo and headache. Still on Thursday. And they're like, there's food. I'm like, I can't eat. And they told us we'll do yoga at 11. I'm like, I'm not doing any yoga, man. Like, I'm like, I can't even stand. What do you want? I'm going back to sleep. So we kind of going back and forward, sleeping for a little bit, going upstairs, going back to sleep. And then something told me, hey, that's enough. Like, you gotta go. You gotta start moving. And we both kind of like so everybody in the end went for yoga. And you don't really have to do anything. You can lay down. It's not like you're doing poses or, you know what I mean? So I went there and then playing this music. I forgot with the Ibogaine, they playing this music too. That's kind of give you on those waves, kind of. And so she's playing this music, and I'm kind of starting being more happier and kind of, getting kind of in the rhythm, like starting feeling it. And all of a sudden, I look at outside, and I see the clouds, I see the blue, and I'm not kidding you. I didn't see these colors for so long. Maybe when I was younger, but I could see blue, like I mean, I can't even remember when I see a blue like that, and white. And I'm like, this is amazing. Like I couldn't wear sunglasses before because everything was so dark for me. And I'm like, wow, and I'm happy. But my happiness didn't last too long because they told me I have to do this 5-MeO. And I'm just scared. I'm like, I get downstairs and they told we doing this 5-MeO. We knew we doing this 5-MeO. And I'm like, man, I'm getting better. I don't want to do 5-MeO. Like I don't even know what it is. And And but Slider's like, no, you're doing 5-MeO.
He's gently nudging you. Nobody is forced to do anything.
No, 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 I'm
He's
joking.
he's he's a military dude.
This is more between sports people and military people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's how we talk.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so I'm like, okay. He explained how we will do it. We'll do one by one outside. And he always puts me last. He said I was never nervous. but I was nervous inside myself. So I could see a couple guys doing it because I went back to sleep again. And when it was my time, I kind of woke up and I was ready. So I saw my roommate doing it, and I'm like, ooh, because he told us, somebody can cry, somebody can yell, somebody can, but doesn't mean you have a bad trip. It's just it's what it is. And so I inhale it. He explained me how to do it. I inhale it and I let it go. And I am falling to this black hole, and it's really like I'm dying. Like I had a panic attacks before through concussion when I doing some testing, and it kind of was like I'm dying. And like I was squeezing me, it was uncomfortable, and all of a sudden I don't know how long this went, but all of a sudden it exploded, and it exploded, and I am in clouds. I'm in heaven. I'm not a huge religion person, but now I am a little bit more. I appreciate the universe and stuff like that. And I am on clouds in the most happiest place I ever been. And I felt like all the anxiety I had, I have a lot of anxiety. I'm scared of flying, scared of a lot of stuff, a lot of anxiety I had a lot of anxiety from media because my English wasn't that good, and I was always shame I will say something bad, and I have a lot of anxiety. But this was like boom, and I'm flying in the clouds in the happiest place, and it was gone. And I woke up, and Slider was asking me to work, and I'm like, I think it work, and I start bawling my eyes,
Mm.
my eyes out, and I cried, and because that pain, when I say I had so much pain. And I felt it. I'm like, this was so hard, man. I had so much pain, and I let it go. Uh, that 5-MeO was the combination of Ibogaine. The Ibogaine is come from inside. It really, you look at the mirror, and and this is not a story. And I had no more pain. I was free. It was crazy. And he told me, "Hey, let's do it again because I had a short trip." And I'm like, "No, I'm done. I'm done. This was peaceful. I did it 5-MeO, and then I traveled back to Tijuana, see Trevor, and do a documentary. So we did 5-MeO together, and that was another that took me deep, and that was a little different, but that was mind blowing. But what I'm saying is about the 5-MeO. So then on Friday, we woke up feeling better after the 5-MeO. It kind of explode, and we share our stories, blah blah blah. And then we ready to go home. I'm going to the airport on Friday, flying back to Dallas, and I go to the lounge, and everybody's drinking. And I had no urge. I'm not like I went to the bar, sit down on the bar, and the only thing I was craving was a tea. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I got a tea. Uh, that was a change for me. And not even coffee. Like normally I'll get coffee or I'll have a drink. No, nothing. And I'm just feeling the happiest I've ever been. Like I'm smiling, I'm laughing in my mind. And I sit down on the plane. Uh, the plane was bouncy from the start. Okay. And I was always scared of it. I don't know why, but and I had Xanax in the backpack. Uh, usually would order a couple drinks, just get the edge out. And I had zero urge to grab that Xanax. And I had the most peaceful flight I ever had. And I'm laughing the whole way, and this is amazing. I'm on this, and I realized I'm on this new journey, like this gives me a head start again. It's like I was 18 again, and I could choose a path,
Yeah.
this way or this way. And then I get home, and it's night. It's 9 p.m. My kid's sleeping with my wife in the master bedroom, and so I didn't wake them up. I go sleep, and in the morning they woke up, and I gotta tell you, I my little one, my 5-year old, now 6-year old, he gives me this biggest smile I ever seen. Like I told you, I had no feelings before, and but you explain me, or maybe maybe it was there before, but I couldn't see it. My brain just doesn't register it. Now I'm crying. Like he gave me this biggest hug and biggest smile, and I could feel it, and I'm like, I'm tearing down. Even now I tear down, and then my other one gave me this biggest hug, but that feeling, like I could feel it. It was incredible, and I'm like, wow. I was kind of crying, and and they kind of it was kind of like telling me, "You are back, Dad. You are back."
Right on.
And-
Congratulations, man.
yeah, and then my wife was just like, "Your eyes are just, I could see it in your eyes. You're a different person." And I wish you guys take a little bit the vibes on this podcast because I can tell you my story, but it would be nice to share their stories, what they think when I come back, because I can't explain it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it really, what is it, 7 months now, 8 months? I've been in an MBO clinic and I didn't have a sip of alcohol. I have not even
Yeah,
thought.
so what are all the things? So alcohol, and Letitia was asking a question. So hi, Letitia. I know who she is as well. Um, you had sense of no purpose. You had
So,
TBI issues. You had drinking problems, and you had tons of pain.
I
They
mean,
all got
drugs,
treated at the same
pill,
time. And how has all that panned out?
yeah, pills. Obviously, I was always addicted to sleeping pills when I was playing. Uh, then become alcohol, some drugs. Uh, it was all together. I was stop with one thing, I'll go to another thing. I was thinking I'm getting better, and then I would end up with something else. So I always had this addiction, I think. Now I know. I was always lying to myself, and yeah. So there's nothing.
How's
Uh,
your brain working?
what's that?
How's your brain working?
Yeah, it's I'm so much sharper. Like stuff would take me months before just to pick up a phone and call somebody. Just to like the normal stuff. I would leave it for ever. I'm doing stuff like now, like in one day, I'm like, I'm going to the gym, like I have a plan. It's like I have goals. I wish I'd done it. I told you that, Trevor. I wish I'd done it when I played. Uh,
Mhm.
Because if I when after season, if I done it, I know it's hard to do it, but it really the all the kind of the baggage you carry through that year, the negativity and whatever, it kind of lets it go. And I'm like mindset is like this, you just sharp and you set up goals and you just going. You're
So do
going.
you feel, does that relate to your sense of purpose? You feel as though
Yeah.
you've got purpose
Yeah.
again?
Yeah, if you tell me, they asked me before I went to Ibogaine what's my purpose, I couldn't even tell him. I would say zero, one. I don't know how to answer that. Now it's like 10, like I'm back. I know I was always pressured to have a job, and now I know my job is, I don't have to pressure myself to do anything. My job is my kids right now, give them the time, and this is my purpose right now. And,
Mm,
I'm coaching them, coaching two different teams. It's not about money. This is my purpose, and everything kind of lines together. Opportunities coming, and I'm not forcing anything because somebody told me I have to do this. No, I'm my own person now.
yeah.
I
What
have a,
about the
I have
pain?
a, I have an opinion too now. I was a
Yeah.
yes man. And now I have an opinion. Like I will not explode, even with my wife. Like, before I would just leave it because I didn't want to fight, and I would just be yes, okay, and I'll forget, and I'll get mad because we're doing this stuff. No, I will say no. I'm not doing this. That's a huge difference for me. I have
Mm.
my own opinion, and it's not like I will say it. We will fight. I will explode, and no, it's like just normal. Like no,
Healthy boundaries. Yeah.
yeah, like that's a huge difference for me.
Wow. What about the pain?
There's no pain.
Really?
Yeah, I have no pain. Like pain, like in my body, or like
Yeah.
no, that's way better. So my chiropractor, who does a lot of athletes, is one of the best in the United States. Okay, and he told me when I came back, he's acupuncture guy, and he said, "This is unbelievable. Your body, your nervous system, when he's putting the needles there, he's like, that stuff is still working. Like your body's completely different." Even him is like, I need to do this, Ibogaine. Yeah, he was like, he couldn't believe it, and he see me through bad, through worse, and now he's like, this completely changed your life. It's like my body is completely different. The nervous system still, it's still in it. Like he's like, it's still getting rid of stuff, you know. Like 3 months later, he was like, I can't believe it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, man. I think people may have some questions. Melanie, I'll throw
Yeah.
it back to you.
Okay. Man, thank
It
you for
was awesome, hey?
that. I
Wow.
love it. I love it. What an
Your English is
amazing.
great now, man. You tell one hell of a compelling
No, but
story.
you know what, Joe? I went to see friends in Edmonton, and there's a guy I live with, and he was a owner of Edmonton Oilers, and he told me I'm using words I wasn't using before.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. What an amazing story. And you're an amazing storyteller too. It's really cool. So thank you. So yeah, there is a bunch of questions here.
Yeah.
So from Melissa, do you continue to attend or do any integration kind of therapy or counseling post kind of your time?
Funny thing. So I talked to my therapist about Ibogaine before having to, because I was going down, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to see this. I'm going to do this Ibogaine. She didn't know what it is.
Yeah.
She researched it. She's like, yeah, try it. And then I saw her after 1 week after Ibogaine. She's like, wow.
Yeah.
Like she's like, we have nothing to like, we don't have to do this now. Like she's like, sure, you want to continue this? Or I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll see you once in a while. But after a little bit, she's like, you are a completely different person.
Mhm.
I need to tell a lot of people about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she could see the huge
Yeah.
difference.
I'll speak for Ambio. So when people come down, we
Yeah,
include
sorry.
coaching before and after. So people receive 2 coaching sessions before, 2 coaching sessions afterwards. And then we have perpetual integration calls, weekly calls that people can show up to if they want. We
Okay.
have for the detox program, we've got perpetual calls for spouses and family members. They can show up once a week as well, because it's a big change for a lot of family
Yeah.
members a lot of times as well. It just, what the heck happened to my husband or wife?
Yeah. I had from MBO, so I was talking to people from MBO. I set it up, and then obviously I had my own too. And after a little while, I I was kind of feeling I need to be a little bit on my own and figure out
Mhm.
on my own. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That
Mhm.
was mine. Somebody likes to talk to a lot of people. I was more like, okay, I've done this by myself. This is a time to really, figure out some stuff on your own too.
Nice.
Hey, awesome. All right. So this is Mandeep Singh. So I'm an integrative psychiatrist working with veterans and athletes. I was actually wondering if it is something that would fit into the off season, Ibogaine, into the off season. Would it take the competitive edge as part of being the athlete? There is a singular focus, and this experience might put life in a broader lens. And I guess you were talking a little bit about that, saying, man, I wish I could have done this
Yeah.
during playtime, right?
Yeah, I wish. Obviously, it's a hard stuff to do. I don't think you can do it every postseason, but
Right.
when I was really down, even if I didn't have a lot of concussions or whatever,
Yeah.
uh, I that would be unbelievable because like you set up goals. It's like you come up with, all the negativity, all the baggages you're carrying, all those, the year, because it's a hard year. You go through up and downs.
Right.
It's never up. It's
Right.
all downs and downs and downs, and this is gonna makes you to really reset
Yeah.
and set up your goals for season. Like I would be so much better because I would not go partying. You know what I mean? Like I would just be like more focused for my goal. Be the best.
Right.
This is, take care of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I wish. I mean, I can't take it back, but I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
It can't hurt you.
Right.
Play like that. it will not take anything from you, from your thinking or
Mhm.
skills, or no, it gives you this mindset, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, you
powerful.
get to keep all the good stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think this comes up with veterans, like should active duty soldiers be taking this? And a lot of the veterans I speak to think yes. Um, and it doesn't really like uh, Sean Ryan's a podcaster. He came through, and some Rick Doblin actually asked him on his podcast with him, said, like, would you still pick up a gun to defend your country? He's like, absolutely, I still would. Like,
Right.
you still you still maintain who you are. It's just
Yeah,
Mhm.
kind of clears away all the crap.
yeah. I think I will just be more focused, you know. I'll be really dialed in, and I'll get ready for that season like I would never get. Uh,
Uh,
and I'll be more excited
mhm.
to go for that season.
Got it.
That's what I mean, you know, like it's not like you finish the season, you kind of like so tired and you don't want to start working out, and you know when you want to go see your family. No, this would be like more okay, let's go, you know, let's
Mhm.
get ready.
Yeah. Let's go. Trevor, just from your perspective, when you like talk to people before they come down and do this work, like do you guys share like what is the chunk of time that people need to kind of set aside for this work, whether it's before, during, and after? Like is there like a time frame or is this like integration always, or how do you kind of frame it for people?
Yeah, for sure. I think Ibogaine's somewhat forgiving in a lot of ways compared to something like ayahuasca, even. Like there's no dieta that you need to do beforehand. A lot of you, if you're on SSRIs or a lot of psych meds, you're going to need to come off of those. So that's a process. And
Hmm.
often, your physician knows how to get you on, but doesn't know how to help you off. So
Yeah,
we help a lot of people with tapering off meds like that. You need to be off most psych meds for at least 5 days prior to arrival. So that
right,
kind of preparation is involved. If you do drink alcohol, you need to stop drinking alcohol for at least a week prior. So you need to be able to do that safely, which sometimes needs medical support and supervision.
right,
And then, yeah, the integration or the preparation calls that I mentioned. And then we just suggest you're going to feel pretty good by the time you go home. Like, worst case, if you got home on a Saturday or a Friday or Saturday and you had to go to work on Monday, you could probably pull it off, but that's not going to be ideal. So we
right,
recommend if people can take a week off at least afterwards, that's going to be ideal. But different people are in different situations, and
right.
um, yeah, and then the integration coaching afterwards and the calls afterwards, we definitely recommend people stay plugged into that as much as they feel they need.
As they can and need. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say like people don't be scared because they really take care of you after, you know. You
Mm,
set up everything and they really do a good job, and the whole clinic, like, you know, it's professional. It's not like
yeah.
I'm going to Amazon doing some some smoke some weed or whatever it is. This is really professional, you know. The
Yeah.
care is there every day. You can ask for anything. It's like a 5 star, and you have care there every day. They are with you all the time, and
Yeah.
even after, they don't leave you alone. Like, you know, it's you're not by yourself. This is like a
Right.
family, and you can always reach out to other guys and to anybody. So don't ever be scared about that.
Beautiful. Gordon Hurley, how's it
Hi,
going?
Gordon Hurley. I know that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Have you spoken with other hockey players about this, or even the NHLPA or doctors associated with the NHLPA or NHL? And if so, have they been like receptive, leaning into it, skeptical, worried?
You know what? After Ibogaine, you want to tell the world.
Yeah.
Uh, it's really hard not to talk about it, and you want to tell everybody. But my recommend from Trevor and from a lot of guys, take your time. Uh,
Mm,
take your time and really focus for yourself. You
right.
know, like I said, I was always trying to help everybody, and I'll be all over the place. And but no, this was my time, and I took time. Obviously, I'm talking. I did some charities with Governor Perry, and I want to get involved a little bit more. Talk to a lot of guys, but a lot of guys they playing. I talked to a few people with NHLPA, but I was more focusing for myself, be honest. Uh,
Beautiful.
and
Yeah.
uh, and that's what you have to do. I'm ready to share it,
Mhm.
and ready to because I think this can help so many athletes, and I know so many hockey players have the same problems like me, even if they
Mhm.
had a concussion, so they don't, and this could help a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, I'm ready to do that, to share
Mhm.
it and introduce it, whatever Trevor or anybody needs.
There was a
I'll
great article in the LA Times just a week or so ago. If you look it up, LA Times athletes, Ibogaine, Alish was quoted in there, but Tate Fletcher and Keith Jardine from the UFC were in there. Brett Favre, we've treated him for his Parkinson's. He was in that article. So these
Mhm.
guys have come out publicly about it. Robert Gallery from the NFL, he has been a very vocal proponent of it. So, and I was just speaking to somebody from the UFC who is speaking to the kind of the head doctor of the UFC, and they're definitely starting to pay attention. And yeah, I think it would ideally be best if you didn't wait till the end of your career to do something like
yes.
this, like
I,
because you're suffering brain damage along the
I
way.
definitely agree with Trevor. Like even the younger people, don't wait when you get divorced,
Yeah.
because a lot of people, this is for them like the last result. But no, do it sooner better. Like seriously, when you're young, do it. I wish I did it when I was 20.
Right.
I, why you want to wait? For
Mm.
what? You get down so bad you don't know how to get out of it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, think like drinking's part of the culture, right? Being a pro athlete for the most part, like, and then you might think that you don't want to quit drinking as a 20-year-old, but sometimes, you might not have that intent overall, but sometimes with Ibogaine, it just falls away
Yeah.
without you even. That's how I quit drinking. I had no intent to quit drinking at all. And Ibogaine
Yeah.
made it super clear that would be a good idea. So imagine how much healthier and maybe how much longer your career would have gone
Yeah.
if, for one, you fixed those concussions along the way and you weren't downing more than a case of beer every weekend.
No, it's definitely a lot of people ask me like, yeah, but I don't want to stop drinking. I'm like, this is not rehab. This is reset your brain. If Abigail shows you maybe stop drinking, you will stop drinking, or maybe you will drink. Like, it's not about that. It's about
Mhm.
have a different mindset.
Right.
Like you said, yeah, I wish I'd done it earlier, and I highly recommend it. Don't wait. Like, don't wait when you are really bad.
We
Right.
always say that Ibogaine seems to restore your sense of agency. So if you are just drinking out of habit, you might not even recognize that there's habit involved. But to be able to take something like Ibogaine and then at least have the choice,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah, actually, maybe I don't feel like a drink right now. Maybe I'll go a night
Mhm.
without it. The extreme example of that is heroin. It's so easy. It's so easy for onlookers to say heroin's obviously destroying your life. Why don't you just quit? Far easier said than done. But after Ibogaine, it's like, yeah, maybe I am going to choose differently.
Right.
At least
Yeah,
give
I'm
yourself
telling
that
I,
choice.
I'm telling people it's like, like I know I can have a beer, but I
Mhm.
won't go 100%. I'm an
Right.
extremist. When I
Right.
Yeah.
do something, I go extreme. And
Yeah.
this is like a different mindset. I know
Yeah.
I can probably have a beer, but I just
Mhm.
don't crave it. But if I have it, it's okay. It's not like
Yeah.
in rehab, they'll tell you if you have one beer, you fell apart, you go back to your old,
Right.
old habits, and you will kill yourself. No, this feels completely different.
Yeah. That kind of space for choice.
Yes,
Hey.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely. Okay. There are three questions left, and I think that's probably all we'll get to tonight. Because we're almost at 8:30, guys. Unbelievable. So, question for you, Trevor, from Melissa. In your experience, what is the percentage of participants who experience destabilization for long term kind of period of time?
Yeah, like very low percentage,
Yeah.
incredibly low. Not even worth mentioning, really. It, you know, 5-MeO is a little different, and we do use 5-MeO in conjunction with Ibogaine, but Ibogaine is really not an ego destroyer at all. It seems to really work on the sense of self and heal the sense of self rather than obliterating the sense of
Yeah.
self. So it's a root. It kind of goes into the root of your issues, the root of your ancestry. And yeah, most people, to the person, I can think of a couple of people who maybe had some other things going on and
Hmm.
really, maybe felt a little bit unstable for a little while after Ibogaine, but for the most part, it kind of does the opposite of that, is my experience.
Okay. Mandeep had another question here. Lots of veterans I treat on are on medicinal cannabis. How
Mhm.
does that fit in terms of coming off this if needed, as I know it might blunt the effects of the other psychedelic medicines?
Yeah, Ibogaine seems to work okay with cannabis. They
Mhm.
don't, I think Ibogaine, or pardon me, cannabis and ayahuasca have a bit of an adversarial relationship, and ibogaine and cannabis do not seem to. I think apparently, I'm told the pygmies who handed this medicine to the Bwiti, they actually use cannabis with the medicine. Um, and our recommendation would be, we tell people that you can use cannabis up until the time of arrival if you would like, but don't bring it with you. And
Right.
then it's if you have a compulsion with cannabis, it's going to help you break that compulsion as well.
Right.
So, look at yourself honestly. Do you want to take a bit of a break from that? Do you at least want to cut down from that?
Right.
Ibogaine is going to enable you to take that break. And then why were you taking cannabis? Maybe it's for sleep issues. Maybe it's for trauma or PTSD, medicating that. And then give Ibogaine the opportunity to fix that for you as well. And then just give it
Yeah.
some space.
Yeah. Or even the, use of medicinal cannabis for pain too, right? And kind of
Yeah.
the way that you described your experience of the pain being worked on, like that operation almost during your experience, right? So really interesting. Okay. Is there any opportunity for those who desperately need this treatment but may not be able to afford it? So maybe around support financially.
Yeah, definitely for veterans, definitely for Special Forces veterans. There's another nonprofit called the 343fund.org. 343 Fund is for first responders, so
Right.
for police, fire, a lot of paramedics. So those resources are available. And then, yeah, I would just say reach out. I came into this to help people. So if there's
Mhm.
somebody I can obviously be of service to somehow, you can just reach out and we'll see what we can do.
Beautiful. Okay. Last question here. This is for Trevor. It's thank you for, all the work you're doing and carrying out all this for the betterment of humanity. So it's a big thank you.
Thank you.
In your experience, what is the difference between Iboga and Ibogaine?
Yeah, you experientially, it's really hard to tell the difference. You'd have to be a very sophisticated Ibogaine or Iboga eater to tell the difference. Iboga itself, if you were taking that, it kind of comes with the pulp. It's almost like you can eat sugar cane or you can eat brown sugar or you can eat white sugar. To eat sugar cane itself, there's going to be a lot of wood that goes in with that. And that's kind of iboga if you're in the jungle. So that might be even more of a purgative, definitely harder to consume than consuming a few pills. Experientially, it's so hard to tell the difference. Like some people say maybe iboga or a total alkaloid has more spirit of the medicine, like there's a dozen or so other alkaloids, not just the ibogaine in a total alkaloid or a root bark. But you could have a total alkaloid one day and then a total alkaloid a week later, and the experience could be totally different. So some people feel as though, like I once had I'll never forget this guy I treated while I was in Vancouver. He was there for a detox, but he wasn't on very much. And we were treating kind of multiple days in a row. And I I think his kind of attitude is like, I heard total alkaloid is more spiritual. I'm a spiritual guy. I love that total alkaloid. And I'm like, okay. And then this, more spiritual, it doesn't necessarily mean easier. In
Uh,
fact, it could mean way more difficult. So we had a super challenging first day. And the next day I'm like, you want to just go with Ibogaine today? He's like, yeah, I'll stick with the Ibogaine today. So a great question. I wish I had a better answer. It's maybe there's an entourage effect with more alkaloids, but not necessarily in my experience. I've seen Ibogaine listen to Alish's journey. That was Ibogaine. Very colorful, incredibly visual. And I think it's important to note as well that not everybody even gets visions on Ibogaine.
right.
And you don't need to have visions for it to be beneficial to you as well. So if you're not getting visions, that's okay as well.
Yeah. All right, guys. Any final words before we kind of say goodnight to this group?
Alish,
Elish, yeah.
No, I just want to thanks to Trevor, and all those people in MBO clinic. They helped me out, and I think we become good friends, and
yeah,
me to spend with them and enjoy it. So I want to thank them. They did a good job, and hopefully they can help more people, and more people will come for this because this can change a lot of people's lives.
thanks, man. I'll see you in Texas in October. I would like to say that for one, this isn't just for pro athletes. This isn't just for tip of the spear special forces veterans. It's for anyone that feels called to it. So, don't be intimidated by somebody like Alish. If you feel the call, step into it. I'd also love to plug a documentary that's coming out. It's called In Waves and War. It will be on Netflix November 3rd. The trailer just dropped yesterday, actually. So if you go to YouTube or Instagram, the trailer's incredible. The movie's incredible. It follows three special forces veterans who came down here for treatment, and it's at the house that Alish came to. So you'll be able to see the house he was talking about. But I think this movie is gonna make a big impact. So check that out. And you can always find us on Instagram at Ambio Life Sciences, or I am at Psychedelic Provider. You can find my email address at ambio.life. And I'm always available and stoked to be back in Canada, at least virtually here.
Mhm.
And it was my mom that was here at the top of the show on my dad's account. So hi, mom.
Ah, awesome. And thanks, guys. And just from Psychedelic Association Canada, just thanking everybody for coming out and Ambio for hosting this tonight and like making this happen. And just a really important story and experience that you guys shared tonight. And man, it can help people here. So it's been really a pleasure to kind of be here and kind of be alongside you guys too. So thanks. It's been a good
Thank you,
night.
Melanie.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting us.
Okay. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Awesome.